In our family, there are 5 children.
And then we have 6 grandchildren and expecting 1 more. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Ryan has Cri du Chat. The short version of that is chat syndrome. Being on the farm and also having Ryan has always kept us quite close as a family.
We're sort of in each other's business, probably too much. We now have little Julia. Ryan is Julia's favourite uncle. We all call him Uncle Ryan now.
We're very much homebodies and the kids know we're always here for the grandchildren. So I would say we're quite a close family, yeah.
Come here, Basil. That'll do. Basil! No cows down there, right? Can you see? Look out the window. There are no cows there.
We had the 4 older children and we started fostering children.
Look, Roy. Look at Basil. He's getting the cows in. He's a good dog.
It was something that we actually really loved and being on the farm was really great.
Check, make sure he's got them all right.
Ryan came to us at 5.5 months old. He was a 6-week emergency care. We thought, yep, we can do 6 weeks. He was delivered to us in his little capsule. It was a drop and run, and so got a little tiny piece of paper on chat syndrome, and that was all. We didn't know anything about disabilities. We'd never really been exposed to that, but obviously he was just a small baby that needed love and care, so we knew how to do that. It was very clear after about 2 weeks that he probably was never going to go back to his biological situation. But he just became part of our family very quickly. And we knew a lot of children are hard to place in permanent care. We couldn't live with the thought that he perhaps would get bounced from home to home and struggle to find a permanent one. So it was something that we felt we could offer.
Being the youngest, I always thought it'd be so nice to have a baby in the family. So, yeah, when he came along, I thought it was great.
Mum and Dad sat us down and said, look, we're thinking he's probably going to stay. I was 15 and I remember thinking, oh, who's going to drive me around? You know, he's taking a lot of your time. But I don't think it was something that was a big deal in the end for me. I was really into like babies and little kids and that. It helped Mum lots with him.
It was definitely a bit of a process at the start because he sort of came to us in not the best way.
He was born quite premature, which is part of Cri du Chat. He had fetal alcohol issues. He also had some abuse and neglect. So there was a whole range of issues going on with Ryan. I think, you know, we loved him, which I know is a real cliche, but for us, it was a little bit of the naivety with the disability. So we just took him home, we loved him and treated him like we would have treated one of our kids.
Robbie, do you want to come inside with me? Come on, my love.
Cri du Chat means cry of the cat. So when they're born, they actually sound like Siamese cats when they cry. I used to be in a supermarket with them, and if he started crying, people used to look around and say, oh, I thought that was a cat. And it really does sound like a Siamese cat.
Come and sit next to me. Can you sit up here, though, first? If you sit next to me, we can read some stories. No! You don't want to sit next to me. Meanie.
Until they're about 2.5, they really can't determine how severe they are going to be in the syndrome. Some Cri du Chat kids walk and talk.
Come on, my love.
So for Ryan, he's clearly very severe.
Would you like row, row, row your boat?
He probably would have been about 2 when he sat up. Crawling, he would have been maybe 5-ish.
Which one would you like?
By the age of 8, he could actually take some steps.
Can you press the button?
He could walk unaided, but only a few steps. The balance was a bit of an issue.
Can you do it? Round and round. Good boy.
And then his foot started to twist in a bit, so he was reluctant to stand up and was more inclined to walk around on his knees.
There wasn't a lot of support. We were on a farm quite isolated. We would often have to traipse into town for a lot of appointments and things like that. There wasn't a lot of physio or occupational therapy. When he went to school, I think he would see an occupational therapist maybe once every 6 months, but really his development was left to us to try to navigate how do we help him to walk, how do we help him to sit, how do we help him to crawl.
He'll have wheat bix and porridge, sometimes scrambled eggs for breakfast. He can feed himself sandwiches and biscuits as long as they're not too hard.
He has an underset jaw, so he can't chew. So he mixes sort of food around in his mouth and then swallows. So we always have to be mindful and careful of that.
Finished, Rye? Are you going?
Being non-verbal, we've had to develop our own styles of communication.
I'll get you a drink, eh?
Ryan uses flashcards.
He's really good at picking his flashcards, which really covers a lot of the basics of what he needs. He has yes and no. He is very precise on when he is saying yes and no.
Do you want to bounce on the tramp?
This is how he does yes. So that's his interpretation of the sign of yes, sign language of yes. He also takes us by the hand and will pull us in a direction that he wants to go. So he has quite a few different ways of letting us know.
Who's that? Is that Earl? Ryan loves photos and he enjoys photos of himself and his mates and his family. Raywin, there's Cookie, is it the Wiggles? Are these all your friends? There's Flinny.
We've got pictures everywhere. We don't have a house with all the lovely art and things like that because that's boring to Ryan.
Yeah, he's off. He seems to be always on the move. He's often with his iPad. He'll go and watch TV for a bit, then he might go outside, come back inside, go and look out the window, go and look at his pictures. He's constantly on the move. You bounce me. He enjoys a bounce on the tramp. He's always done that ever since he was little, when kids used to bounce him, and now there's no one left, so it's up to us.
When you have a child like Ryan, every little thing they do is huge.
Do you want to bring your card and come over here with me? Look what I've got.
Being able to feed themselves or walk or crawl, or it's not even about the big things. It's actually about the little things.
Can you do it?
They all become really big milestones, and those are the things that definitely keep you positive and keep you going and keep you feeling like there's just a lot more potential to always be unlocked.
That's a cool one, that one, eh? Oh, you did it! Yay! We've definitely had, we call them dark days. In the younger years, he was very hyperactive. Hyperactivity is part of Cri du Chat.
He also has PECA, which is a condition where they put everything in their mouth. So you name it, it goes in his mouth.
We had several really bad choking incidents.
So we've had to put gates up around the house so we can make areas safe.
It was really, really stressful for a very long time.
Ryan coming through the foster system, once we took permanent care of him, we got little to no help at all. So as a family, as we just thought, well, it was up to us.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
We always struggled financially.
Row your teeth.
At that stage, we were just coping week to week, month to month, year to year.
Ah! More? Yes? Okay.
We decided that we had finally got to a point that we needed some help.
Who are we going to throw in this time?
We contacted an independent advocate who then came on board with us, and it just snowballed from there. It really changed our lives quite dramatically, and Ryan's life, more to the point.
Maybe we should let Earl in.
We managed to get a personal budget for Ryan, which then allowed us to be able to have regular carers coming in and just access equipment and things that Ryan had needed that we had always had to pay for ourselves. So it really made a huge difference to us. But it was a little bit bittersweet because we should have had that support since he, was a young child.
Earl was a teacher assistant at his school. We've been lucky enough to get him to do some caregiving as well, and Ryan loves him and he knows him really well. Without the support of those caregivers, it'll be a very different picture. And the people that do this job are just generally really caring people.
Was funding. It was a bit of a turning point, and whilst we were doing all of this, our youngest daughter announced they were having a baby, which we were delighted about, and then realised they were having two babies. So we were all very, very excited about it. We assumed, you know, as you do, probably a bit naively, that nothing is going to go wrong. But very sadly, she ended up delivering the girls at 27 weeks.
I had to have an emergency C-section.
You could tell that was something wrong. There was about 10 doctors around one baby and they were trying to bring them back to life.
I had, it's called TTS, which is twin-to-twin transfusion. One of the girls was not getting enough fluid and blood and food, and the other girl was getting too much. TTS resulted in the death of Matilda. They'd said with Julia, because she had her grade 4 brain bleed, that she was going to be left with cerebral palsy.
We knew that she would be quite reasonably affected, but there's a lot of unknowns.
She must have been 6 weeks old, and I thought maybe she's not going to die. Maybe we will get to take her home. Good morning. Hi. I suppose at the start, her cerebral palsy was almost on the back burner because she had a lot to overcome in the hospital. Yeah, where's your socks? Good job. Put your socks on? Yeah, come sit on the bed. Now Julia's 3 and keeps us very busy. Put your socks on? Good girl. Every day I wake up and I look forward to going into her bedroom and saying good morning and getting her up. Yeah, and the other one? Yeah, and I've never had that with anything else I've done in my life so far. Come on, we'll brush your hair. Yeah? Yeah. Good. Shh. Yeah, good girl. With Julia's disability, we've had to teach her to do everything. Your plate. You know, we had to teach her to be able to roll, to be able to sit up independently. Every little thing that you can imagine that most babies do, we had to teach Julia. Yeah, you gonna help me butter up? Julia's turn. She's at that stage where she loves to be part of everything. Should we put the peanut butter on? Other than playing, she just wants to be involved with whatever you're doing. Yeah, you hungry? Want some toast? Good job. Can you say yum? Yum. With all of her toys, they all can be made therapy-based so that they're actually helping in some way. Who's flying the plane? Her left side's the weakest, so just simple things like passing it to her left side, making her use her left hand to grab things. Over this side. Her language is minimal. It's definitely come a long way. Look, there's a teapot. Can we pour in some tea? But her understanding of language in a whole is absolutely amazing. You can tell her to do almost anything, and she understands you. And you pour the tea in the cup. Mummy, help. And you got it. Shh. Well, there you go. Nice hot coffee. She last year learnt to crawl. Julia, do you want to go get your shoes? Which was amazing because it takes so much of both sides of her brains and all parts of her bodies to work together. Children, you know, with cerebral palsy, no one can really tell you exactly what your future's going to look like or how things will look until you know the child and work with them.
Come on. What do you want to do?
I can imagine for families that have never had anything to do with special needs, it'd be quite a shock and it'd be quite scary.
Woohoo! In a way, we're so lucky we have Ryan. Show more? Good girl. Because we understand disability.
You know what you're looking at, you know the reality of it, but you also know that there's huge potential in people.
Woohoo!
With the nursery, there was a real need for more suppliers in our local area. So we started growing a few natives, and it's just grown and grown and grown each year.
Go and see Finny. Look, Finny's working with Earl.
We decided that we can provide jobs for some of our young adults with disabilities. There's huge opportunities depending on people's motor skills, attention, their capabilities.
Say hi, Finny.
Hey, Goody.
He's working. He came to work.
What are you doing? Long day come soon. We've run out of pots. What are you going to ask Scotty?
2.
For what?
Where?
For some more...
Tree.
More
Plot.
pots?
Yeah.
Ryan loves being outside and he loves being around the buzz of people and things going on. There's lots of pots in there, isn't there, Flinny?
Do you remember how many you said there were this morning? There's quite a few hundred.
He's got a best friend that he's been at school with right through primary and now high schools. Want to hand Flinny some pots? You going to give it to him?
Yeah.
Thank you. Good boy.
There you go, goodie.
That's been huge. A lot of kids like Ryan don't have those opportunities.
You going to put one down? Oh, look. That's the one.
Scotty, our nursery manager, is actually our son-in-law. We're very, very lucky to have him as part of our family.
Fill that gap in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Scotty has a fantastic background in mental health and disability, so he has been fantastic in helping us develop and think about how we can provide opportunities for children with intellectual disabilities.
The focus at this point is really just around some structure and some meaningful activity, meaningful engagement.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's really a community that we're trying to support, and we're actually helping the local ecosystem by promoting native plants. Getting outside, being in nature, your hands in the soil, connecting with the whenua, really just being present, being mindful.
Feeling like the future for Ryan now is a lot more positive. He has funding, and that is the difference.
He can stay at school till he's 21, then we've got to sort something out for him. And so that was sort of the start of the Planet Ryan Foundation.
So it'd be great to get that pine out.
Our very first thoughts were that we would build Ryan his own home. So going into adulthood, he would be living near us and then we could provide a better life for him. But one of the biggest things is social contact. We decided that we're not wealthy people, but we've got a bit of land and perhaps bringing the community to Ryan.
Our advocate said, well, we'll find some funding and we'll make something happen.
Roby, look, this is your house. You're going to live here with Flynn, you and Flynn.
Our vision is Ryan and Flynn are going to build their own respite care / home.
Right next door to us. How lucky are we?
We have drawings for 8 altogether respite care houses.
Your house. This is going to be your...
We also have plans for quite a big building. We want to build a sustainable day program for 18 young adults to come in to us, offering other families what I know there is a real hole out there in the community.
What do you think, Roby? You want to hang out in the bush? You want to go and feed the birds? Yes. Great. Fantastic. You'll be our first customer.
Should we do the hello button?
Oh, somebody's here.
Good morning.
Hi. There, you can hold on to the table here. You can hold my hand. Use your thumb, maybe.
Hello. My parents have had a wild ride with Ryan and getting proper support. When Julia came along, they didn't want us to have to go through the same thing.
Come on, come on.
Once we managed to get her some funding, then the problem was, where do you find therapy?
And shall we get baby? Baby.
Yeah.
We knew ourselves how hard that was to find. It was really important to us that we did better. We couldn't give Ryan things that we just didn't know about, but we know now.
I think it's time for her to sit on her chair. Yeah?
We were very lucky that we were given Heather,
Julie's turn.
who specialised in cerebral palsy.
Clever girl.
And so she came on board and started working with Julia when she was about 1.
And hands down. Watch what you
What
do.
I saw was potential for learning. Yes, she had difficulties and she wasn't going to learn like another child would learn naturally, but she had potential.
And turn around. Just your bottom. Turn your bottom. Oh, clever.
Good.
It was just amazing to watch after we had struggled through with Ryan.
Now I'm pushing down on the left leg just to get that weight bearing through that left foot.
Having somebody come in twice a week and actually tell you what you need to do, what you need to be working on. Trying to repair those pathways in the brain is just huge for Julia.
Good
job. Give to
Thank
Mummy.
you.
These kiddies don't do things that other children acquire naturally. They've got to learn even the most simple, basic motor skills.
Tell Mummy, shoo, please, Mummy. Shoo. Shoo, thank you, Julia.
Well,
And that's boring for a child. If we want to learn, we have to be motivated to learn. So that's why it must have play and must be fun.
no, she doesn't go on your hand.
We just saw how amazing Heather was,
Let's go find Mummy. That's the girl. Hold.
and we knew she was a rare gem in the world of therapy.
Yeah. Oh, where's Mum? Boo. There she is.
She was travelling from house to house. The skill set she has to be wasting that driving around, and it just made no sense to us.
That's it. Stairs.
We said, Heather, how do we make this easier?
Well done. Oh,
Because we wanted it to be accessible to all families.
there.
Because we were already a registered charity, it was really easy to open a satellite called Little Stars. And that is how we kind of begun that journey.
She's doing most of the work. A lot of the work.
She's come a million miles from what could have been the outcome if we didn't have proper early intervention.
It's a lovely space to be in.
Right up, and now can you...
It makes us feel really great, not only for Julia, but for all our other families.
Hello, Missy Moo. Hi.
Pip's fiercely family orientated. She really puts in a lot of effort and time into making sure that we have opportunities to be together and to keep the unit strong. Even when there is hardships through it all, they just keep going. And I think that's the kind of overall feeling, is that you make the effort, because that's part of what this family is all about.
Having someone in your life with a disability really changes your perspective on everything in a great way.
Oh, look at it, she's so excited.
The appreciation for all the little things is so much more. You absolutely have hard days, but I just think that the wonderful things that come out of it is undescribable.
You gonna bounce us? Ready? Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
I think as a family it would be really scary if we hadn't been exposed to a world of disability. Call it fate, call it whatever you like. I actually feel we're incredibly blessed that we've had Ryan. What we've learned, we can still keep benefiting Ryan with, but we can also benefit the next generation.